Hello everybody, and welcome back to another video. Today is episode 33 of your NHL 22 franchise mode here with the Edmonton Oilers as we walk into a massive offseason. As you guys all know, in the last episode, we were having to make some tough decisions, whether we were going to keep Holloway or trade him away, and of course we made up that decision, and now we just got to execute it and build the team around what we got right now, which is not a whole lot to say the least. But before I hop into this video, I'd like to just say, if you are new to the channel, make sure to smash that subscribe button and hit that like button as well. That'll be very much appreciated, boys. So let's get into this puppy here with the Edmonton Oilers, as of course we just won the Stanley Cup and we ended up ripping apart basically the entire team. You look at the forward core, there's not a whole lot that is, staying with the team. Basically, all that we have from the last year's Stanley Cup was McDavid, Draisaitl, Kaprizov, Nuge, Noel, and McLeod. And that's all we got for our forward core. We had a lot of free agents. We knew that was going to be the fact. Bjorkstrand, we were going to have to pay a lot of people, and we just don't have the money to continue playing forwards that type of money. So we are going to be building a nicer team that's going to be a little bit more on a budget, and I found a lot of players that are on a perfect budget. But before we get into that, we're going to be making the big deal that we were talking about in the last episode. Of course, that big deal is with the Detroit Red Wings. We were thinking about making a big trade that would kind of help the team out a little bit moving forward. It would bring us in a future defenseman for the team, and that was Simon Edvinsson. Now, we were kind of deciding on whether we wanted Durpus or, bring in Evanson. Now, kind of what I realized is that this team might be affected by a little bit of morale just because of the fact that every player has had a bad minus on their team. They haven't been very good defensively, so honestly, it's going to be a good time to kind of take advantage of trading with the Detroit Red Wings, especially with probably the lower trade value in a lot of the players. And also part of the deal, I was kind of looking more into it. One guy that I would love to pick up from the team is Joe Valeno. They got a nice forward core with Hugo, our Hunter, Sanford coming up the pipeline, and you got Wenberg, you got Dylan Larkin. Joe Valeno's a very nice player, and I would like him as our third-line center. Plays really well defensively. Not just that, he's locked up for the next 3 years at a really nice contract at 3.1. Was also another player I wanted to add on to the deal. So now what we are trading back is, unfortunately, Mr. Dylan Holloway, we are having to trade away. Now, I don't want to trade away Dylan Holloway. He is amazing defensively. He was just an absolute amazing player for the Edmonton Oilers. But looking at what we got right now and looking at the cap situation that we're right now in, we just signed Kaprizov back to a deal, 9.9 for the next 6 years. We just simply don't got the money to sign Holloway, and in general, we have two big guys in Draisaitl and McDavid already as is that are up in that $10 million range, and we didn't want to be paying, Dylan Holloway $14 million when, honestly, we just couldn't afford it. And in Detroit, they want him. They want that type of player. We're also going to give him back a very good defenseman in Mackenzie Weegar as well. And then also adding it into the deal, I want to get back some picks and some prospects. So someone like I was seeing for prospect-wise, a very good defenseman here in Happy Bullen. 72 overall defensive defenseman. I like his defensive stats. Could be somebody that could potentially jump up and be a big player for us in the future. And then also I wanted to get a second-round pick in next year, maybe potentially a fourth, but that's kind of a Hail Mary throw. So basically, this is the deal. Holloway, Mackenzie Weegar for Evanson, Valeno, Habibulin, a second and a fourth. Will that go through? Kind of what I was thinking. It probably wouldn't have, because there's probably too much value on the picks. I'm guessing we're going to have to get rid of the picks, yes. So how about just a fourth? Will that work on the deal? No. So just take that away and just do players in general? No. Even that will make it go through. Okay, so I thought we were a little bit closer in value, but I guess we're not. Now, I do not want to trade away any prospects in general. That was, one kind of fear. I don't want to trade away any big prospects or picks, but we are going to have to add just a little bit of a touch of picks. Maybe we could get back a 6 in this deal or something. Will that go through? No. No, not at all. Damn, just a bit low. Fuck, we are so close. Let's just dump off a fourth of next year as well. Just do 2/4. We get back, we'll try to get it back a 6th of next year as well. So Holloway, Uyghur, Armstead, which we just selected as him a goalie, and then 2/4 for Simon Evanson, Joe Valeno, Habib Woolen, and a 6th round pick. Just sweeten it a touch. We'll take off the pick. Wow, still sweeten it a touch. My lord, are they just right up our ass right now? Just take the deal. Come on. Just take a 6 back. Come on. Just a bit low. Come on. Man, we are right there. Like, the value is so close. We're just figuring out the little in-betweens of this deal. We'll take back a 6, hopefully, from this deal. No. Take it off. Man, wow. So they want us to eat up a little bit of cap with Mackenzie Weegar, I'm guessing, eh? Just so that they could sign Dylan Holloway and basically guarantee it. I don't want to, but I will sacrifice a good 500 because that'll make it relatively close to Simon Edmonton. It's something we're going to have to do in this type of deal. But then I don't want to give you guys a 4th round pick. Or I don't want to give you a 3rd round pick, what I meant to say. Because we're retaining cap on a player that I don't want to. We're right now in a situation where I don't want to retain cap. You guys are going to be fucking dicks about it, aren't you, eh? Aren't you just going to be fucking dicks about it, eh? Alright. Take the fucking 3rd, you greasy bastards. Dude, it's fucking Dylan Holloway who had 50 goals. Just take the fucking deal, man. Holy crow, what the fuck? Holy shit, dude. I'm thinking we get it sooner or later, but fuck me, never. Still no. Will that go through? Wow, they are really being stuck up about this. I didn't think they were. I thought Holloway was going to be good enough to kind of cover the value, but apparently not. So we'll try to get 2/4 maybe out of the deal. Like the 2nd and 3rd with Holloway, Weegar, Armstead, Evanson, Valeno, Habib Woolen, and 2/4. Will that go through? Okay. We're taking off Habib Woolen. We'll take off that. Take that off. Will that go through? Still a no. They still want cap being retained in the deal. So maybe Weegar not being the move in this deal, potentially. Because they're worried about cap in this deal. So we keep Valeno, because I want Valeno in the deal, right? We give him Holloway. Who else do you guys want from the team? They want McMahon and Yoshimura, the 2 guys that I want to keep on the team, of course. Nobody else, really, because we don't have a whole lot of players. You know what? Screw it. I will trade away one of our future goalies in the deal and per fast. Honestly, that is pretty even. And then we'll give you guys a 4th. And we'll try to take back maybe a pick or so. A 4th and a 5th. So Holloway fast, a 4th for Evanson, Valeno, and a 4th and a 5th. There we go. Fuck me, finally. So we finally were able to figure it out. We finally got the deal done. Now we do need to trade away Mackenzie Weegar. That is somebody we do need to get rid of and dump off to some other team. But with Simon Evanson being added onto the team, this is a huge boost up for our defensive core. This is going to be really, really big for the team. Now, maybe we... I do like Dmitry Zadorov. I don't want to just go with old guys. I think we definitely need to keep the youth of the team, and that's a big thing, especially in our back end. I do want to keep the youth of the squad because we're getting very old. Like, you can see with Nuge, you can see with our top guys, they're getting up into the 30s. Like, we definitely need to focus more on the youth because we haven't been doing that over the past few years. Like, we've just been letting our development really slip underneath of us and just continue to build up the team and make it as tanky as we possibly can. And, well, it's been coming back to bite us in the ass a little bit. So now we only have a little bit of money left. One thing I do want to do is trade away Stetcher real quick just to clear up some cap. It's funny because I said we weren't going to make a whole lot of deals, and all I'm doing is going to be making a fuck ton of deals in this episode. It's kind of funny. But that's what we really got to do as a Moneyball team is just continue to rotate the team around and making deals that help with our cap. Like, that's pure and simple. We just need to keep making moves that help with our cap and to help the team out for the future. And that's really kind of the big thing right now. Ooh, Andre Kasha. Ooh, hang on. Andre Kasha. Sniper. I actually would like a depth sniper for the team. 34 points this past year. He's been putting up a pretty good amount of points for the Toronto Maple Leafs in general. Not too bad defensively. If we can get him retained at a full, like, half of his deal being retained here, I will take him off the book. So just straight up, just like that. Yeah, that's what I was kind of expecting them to not do that. They would like Mackenzie Weegar as well. We could actually set them up with a decent deal here. Right? Because they need defensemen. Like, they would take Weegar without a doubt. And, yeah, like, they need defensemen without a doubt. Like, that's definitely a thing that they could benefit from. And maybe we could take a few picks back from the deal. Because we give them Troy Stetcher and Mackenzie Weegar for Ondrej Kase at a half retained. What is this Mason Appleton guy looking like? Mason Appleton. Oh, 5.4. I like the defensive stats, but we just got Joe Valeno, so I'm good, bro. I know it's a bit too much, but we will we'll lower it a bit. Maybe we can get some... I just want more draft pick revenue, honestly. That's, like, the biggest thing in my head. I just want more draft pick revenue. There we go. Ondrej Kase now just made to the Edmonton Oilers. So we trade away Troy Stetcher and Mackenzie Weegar for a crap ton of picks. So we're loading up on more of that draft pick real estate, which is really nice over the next 2 years. And we just picked up some more depth onto the squad. We traded away 2 defensemen, which is definitely a big hindrance on the team. Makes us a bit weaker on the back end of the side. But with Miles Cook most likely stepping up this year, and we're going to get a defenseman to play alongside of him, we won't really have to worry about that. Our offensive squad is actually kind of stacking up good now. We have Joe Valeno added onto the team with Ondrej Kase and Noel and McLeod for the depth. Now it is time to add in some forwards into the squad now. So we're having to play a little bit of money ball with this as well. So we were kind of thinking about bringing back in Tuck back into the Edmonton Oilers, and that was kind of a hypothetical thought that I was kind of thinking about, but looking more into it now, it might not be the case. You look at Tuck, it's $6 million, and that, you know, you take into account that you only have $14 million. You spend $6 million on Tuck, you know, you lower it down by a good fucking $7 million, maybe even a bit less, like $9 million, and you still have to sign a depth defenseman and 2 depth forwards for the team. And also, we still have to sign like 2 second-line guys, like, or I guess 1 more second-line player. So, the way that I was seeing it was Pierre Luc-Dubois is here and available. Pretty good defensively, 86 defensive awareness. He looks pretty physical. He's the type of player that I wouldn't mind on the team, right? Offensively, he was definitely not a big offensive contributor. 36 points, definitely not a big point producer for the Winnipeg Jets. But only signing him for 2 years is not a bad idea. And I'm willing to take the risk on this type of move just because right now we're in the type of position where we're going to have to take big risks like this. Like, there's no doubt about it that we're going to have to take big risks like this to potentially help the team out. So I was thinking Pierre Luc-Dubois, and then right after that, I'm also thinking Conor Garland as well. Conor Garland is a player that had a pretty bad year this past season, but has been just an offensive beast for the Vancouver Canucks over his span of his career. Had a real bad year this year, but 42 points last year, 62 points this 3 years back. I think is a player that we could bring in and potentially make a really good forward out of him in our top 6. So that's the way that I'm kind of thinking. And this makes the team a bit cheaper. We get 2 guys that we can have on contract, at least for Dubois. I'm definitely going to try to sign Garland for 3 years. Oh, yeah, I got to show you guys the wheel here right quick. If I could open it up, Jesus. So for Pierre Luc-Dubois, it will be a half no movement, half no trade clause. So his first year will be a no movement clause, and then his second year will be a no trade clause. And then for Conor Garland, we'll just spin the wheel for him right quick as well while we're on this screen already. And for Conor Garland, it will be a no trade clause. Yes, it'll be a no trade clause for Conor Garland. So there you guys go. So $4.2 million is where we're going to try to get Pierre Luc-Dubois at. I think it's a pretty relatively good deal for him. And then Conor Garland, I want to try to get him for 3 years. It signs him up until he's 33 years of age, we could actually get him at a bit cheaper for this price as well. So I do like the fact that we're still going to get him on that no trade clause. I think might as well sign him for 3.1 for 3 years for Conor Garland. So those are the two big guys that I wanted to get for the forward core. And then I was thinking Jesper Boquist, but with the fact that we do have a bit more money, I was kind of thinking about going after Lindbolm. Where is he at? Is he higher up? Is he an 83 overall? He might be an 83 overall, yeah. Oskar Lindbolm, he's really good defensively, two-way forward. Was kind of a player that I was looking at maybe picking up. Yeah, 83 overall, 3.7. We might actually be able to honestly afford him, right? So $4 million, that brings you down to 10. $3 million, that brings you down to 7. Yeah, you got enough to sign Lindbolm, honestly. We don't have to really worry about very many contracts. You get him for 3.8. It's another guy that I would be willing to bring in. He's really good defensively. We need good defensive players, especially if we're not going to be a super deadly offensive team this year. We need good offensive players. A full no movement clause for Lindbolm. You know what? I will risk that because we got Joe Valeno. I will risk paying a no movement clause for Lindbolm. It might come back to bite us in the ass. But for right now, we need to take big risks, especially with the team that we got. We got to be willing to take some risk. So defensively, we need to find a good top 6 guy to play alongside of our man, Miles Cook, who will be jumping up into the main roster this year. So I think I kind of want somebody good defensively to help him out and develop into the NHL. We need like a two-way defenseman, I guess, to be able to fit alongside of him. Michael Matheson might not be a bad idea. A guy that can move a puck a little bit. Hasn't really played a lot in the NHL over the past few years, but is dirt cheap, $1.5 million. Broberg is kind of available. That's kind of funny. After that, it kind of drops off. I mean, Cam York, but he will probably be on a RFA deal, right? Oh, no, he's a UFA. Oh, okay. Huh. He's never really played in the NHL. That's crazy. I think Michael Matheson kind of my ideal player. $1.5 million. He's not super duper expensive. These guys up here kind of jump up in price. So I think our man, we kind of found our guy. Michael Matheson. We'll sign him for a $1.15 million deal for Michael Matheson. And there we go. There is free agency. Now we do need to assign some scouts. So I'm hoping that this team can mesh really well together. It's honestly kind of a big concern for me that the fact of the matter is that we lost everyone. Like, this was definitely not ideal. Like, I wanted to win the cup like a long fucking time ago, so we wouldn't have, like, this would be the later half when we're finished our dynasty, and now we're just having to deal with the hangover. We've only won 1 cup, and honestly, it's not like it's a huge disappointment because we could still win many more. It's just we had so much great teams, and we were never able to really scoop it on in and relish in that success. There was definitely a lot of goof ups and, you know, some cap problems that we had to deal with the entire time. And I honestly think that dates back all the way to Ken Holland. I honestly do feel that way, and even thinking about it in real life, like, this is the type of team that, you know, whoever takes over from Ken Holland is going to have to deal with, like, the punishment of these bad deals and the punishment of having to deal with the bad cap and everything in that sorts, like having to deal with Nurse. I would have probably traded Nurse a long time ago to pick up, you know, a better defenseman than what we got in him, but you know, it is what it is. You get stuck with what you got. At least we won a cup, and I think that's a big thing that we were able to finally do is bring home the Stanley Cup to the Edmonton Oilers. So Pierre Luc-Dubois signs, Oskar Lindbolm also signs, Michael Matheson and Conor Garland all come to the Edmonton Oilers. So there we go. We get all the players that we wanted to get onto the team, and we still have about $5 million left to spend. So that is massive for us. So and that's the biggest thing. I wanted to play Moneyball with this team this year. And get people on contracts for long term, but not contracts that were going to massively punish the team. So if we wanted to go all in this next deadline, we can. So basically the way that it's going to look like is Kaprizov, McDavid, Garland, I think is what we might do. Nuge, Draisaitl, Dubois. Maybe Dubois plays up on the top line. We'll kind of have to see. But Valeno, Lindbolm, Kasha, McLeod, Noel, And then we can pick up one more depth player defensively. We got Nurse, Bouchard, Evanson, Zadorov, Matheson, and Cook. And then Saros and DeSmith. So very good looking defensive core. And we could even could have went after Tuck, to be quite honest with you. We could even still go after a top 6 guy if we really wanted to, like someone that's affordable. Someone that could make a big difference on the team this year. We don't need another sniper. We could honestly bring up a playmaker onto the team. Huh. Thinking. See, with bringing him, that means it would be a lock. We wouldn't be able to bring up Garland or anything like that up to the top 6. That's the biggest thing about doing that type of move. We would have a permanent lock. I think I want to bring in someone that's just a 1-year deal, whatever it may cost. 1-year deal on a really good defensive guy to kind of bolster up the team this year. I think is kind of what I'm looking for. Patrice Bergeron wouldn't be a bad idea, but he's going to probably drop massively. Dickinson, we could get him for 2 years, but once again, I want somebody better defensively. Ben, you got... thinking who we could bring in. Huh. I was thinking one player was Riley Smith, but once again, we got too many goal scorers. We could bring in another power forward in Kevin Haynes. Could do that. Jesper Boquist wasn't a bad idea either. He was pretty cheap, and you could get him to a decent deal. JT Compher, you would have to lock up long term. And let's, you know what? Let's give Jesper Boquist a try. 2 years at $1.35 million. He's not going to cost us too much. Pretty cheap. I don't see why not. I honestly don't see why not. So I think that's really about it. I don't think we really need to make any moves. I'm feeling worried that this might not help the team. I hope that Simon Evanson jumps up to be, you know, a big time defenseman for us, and we just didn't spend a 50 goal scorer on a defenseman that's going to be a complete bum for us. And we could have totally picked up a guy that's going to be a complete utter bomb, and we could have totally picked up Durpus and just would have said, you know, that was a guy that we needed to pick up. But in the situation that we were forced into by Holloway asking for so much money, we had to make up our mind. Come on, fuck off. I do not want to do a trade. But being forced in that situation where, you know, we weren't going to be able to keep Holloway on the team, it was either that we trade him now or we wait until the deadline and trade him then. And I'm just thinking, let's try to figure out what we could do for the current core now, sign the free agencies that we can, and then, you know, focus on, you know, building up the offensive core a little bit better. And hopefully that McMahon's going to be a big prospect that jumps up pretty well for us. He's at a 70 overall already. He was doing great with the London Knights. Yoshimaru's going to be a big guy for the Edmonton Oilers as well. So we got some big prospects that we're going to have to hope that make their progression up and continue to draft good. We're going to hopefully able to keep our first round pick for next year. I think that's a big thing for us to not trade away any of our big picks. So yeah, Nuge, McDavid, Draisaitl once again. Hell yeah. So looking forward to this team this year. Let's take a look at everything. I'm kind of concerned, but at the exact same time, I'm kind of excited about this year. So of course, the top line, McDavid, Draisaitl, Kaprizov, Dubois, and then all the depth players that we got up here in the system. No one's really going to be able to jump up and play just yet. So moving on to the defenseman. Nurse Evanson did not jump up, and he is, what, 23 years of age, so he still has time to develop, and I think if we give him the ice time, hopefully he'll develop and become something better. If not, you know, we're really going to be hoping on Miles Cook to be a big-time defenseman for us for that future. So, oh, man. We're relying on a lot of stuff right now. We made a pretty ballsy trade with trading away Dylan Holloway. Even more ballsy than what we did with Jesse Puljujarvi. So, this is probably one of our bigger deals that we have done. So, I want Dubois to play. Is Dubois going to put... Ooh, my God. That is fucking nasty. Wow, man. Okay. So we got players that really fit up in our top 6, and Kaprizov and Dubois. My lord, man. That is quite amazing. I do not want Harkins there. I kind of want McLeod. Are we missing anyone else? No, just McLeod. Okay, bet. Bet. Yeah, so we did want to play cash up here, but with Newell, that gives it a +1 to Valeno and Lindbolm, and then Bachquist, McLeod, and Kasha. Well, this is your Edmonton Oilers for the year 2026-27. So that's the forward core. And then figuring out where Simon Evanson. Ooh, we're not going to have a really whole lot of options here with Simon Evanson. I'm thinking, honestly, I'm trying to figure out what we do here. Because we could go with the 2 righties and then the 2 lefties going alongside of each other. Because Bouchard and Evanson do not fit alongside of each other. So I think we're going to try to do Dmitry Zadorov alongside of Simon Evanson and then Nurse and Bouchard. So it's going to be a big development year in our defensive core. Really, it really is. Like, we're going to be hoping for a big step up from Simon Evanson, and hopefully he could develop really, really well with the team. Bouchard might be expendable, to be quite honest with you, but he is a big offensive defenseman that we do want to keep on the team. It's just Simon Evanson doesn't really fit into Malak's kind of system, which is kind of a fucking bummer. Like, that is the biggest bummer about Simon Evanson right now. But honestly, ooh, Miles Cook fits wonderfully with him. Okay. I like that. Miles Cook is looking really good for our future as well. So we got a lot of things to look forward to right now, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of things. We're not going to be doing any more simulation in today's video. We're going to be doing all that in the next video. But before we do head off here, we'll take a look at our prospect system. So McMahon jumped up to a 72. Not terrible. Everybody else kind of stays about the same. We did trade away one of our big rookie prospects in our goaltending core, so we really don't got anybody else to look forward to. But there you are. That is it for today's episode. Thank you very much for watching, boys. It is going to be a big one in the next one as we try to go back to back. It's going to be pretty hard to go back to back, but I am pretty excited with the team that we got this year, and I feel like we can, especially when you got McDavid, Kaprizov, and Draisaitl all on the same team. I have pretty big confidence in those guys. But for now, guys, I'm going to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching, boys, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Adios, amigos.